Good morning and welcome bright and early on a Saturday. It's about just shy of 8 a.m. Eastern, and here we are for Creator Breakfast Live. Welcome back to the show, and thank you very much for joining me. Those who are here in the chat, those who are coming in as we speak, make sure that if you're here, make sure to share it out. Of course, let people know if they're awake, they can join us here on Creator Breakfast Live. Today, we're going to be looking at talking about an interesting topic coming up very shortly in regards to the whole YouTube accounts getting hacked situation. I don't know if anybody's up to speed on that. I sort of been monitoring it for a while because it has been going on for quite a while. Particularly, I think, since the beginning of the year. We're going to dive into that a little bit shortly in the show. And, of course, we're going to be shouting out those who are joining us in the chat as we do at the start of the show in just a second. And make sure that you've got your coffee, your bowl of fruit, whatever it is that you like to partake of for breakfast. And have it ready. Have it on standby. Have it ready to drink. I've just brought my water today. I'm just going with water. So how's everyone today? Let's jump into the chat right now and acknowledge those who are already here, and then we'll take it from there. Just before we started, we had Courage, Healing and Love coming in with a question, which we'll get back to in just a second. And just as we started, it was also Adam's Exploits. It's very, very lean in the chat this morning compared to last week. So make sure, if you haven't, let people know that we are live here on Creator Breakfast. How has everyone's week been, first of all, before we get started? And we'll go back to Courage, Healing and Love's question in just a second. We'll start with there, and then we'll get onto the main topic of the show, of course, as well. And as always, taking your creator questions. If you have something, then feel free to ask it in the chat at any time during the show. All right. Hopefully this will be condensed back to our normal sort of a roughly 1 hour show. Last week we went a little longer because we didn't have any constraints at the end of the show. It turns out that Nick Nimmin had internet troubles last week, so we just rolled with it and just rolled a little bit longer, seeing we didn't have to stop for Nimmin Live. Because if Nimmin Live was on, I'd be there. All right. I have tweeted out, of course, that we're live here. So for those who follow me on Twitter, hopefully they'll be dropping in and coming in throughout the show. Hopefully notifications have been going out on YouTube. We hope that the YouTube notification system is working. All right, let's hit this first question that came in just before the stream started, because that's a great place to start, and then we'll go from there as people filter into the live stream. All right, this is a bit of a long question, so we're going to read through it first. Good morning, Doug. Greetings from Florida. Good morning in Florida there, East Coast. A friend of mine is actually staying in Florida. He's been there since, I think he went over in late December, and he's been there ever since. He's just had to extend his visa. It's going to be hard for him to travel in any case, I think, at the moment with what's going on. But let's get back to the question. It fades off if I leave it up too long. I really enjoy working on YouTube. Thing is, I lack charisma or just get nervous. I can relate to that, for sure. I was trying to do a compilation of video clips that are funny to us. And then we go over to the next comment here. I was wondering how you properly do this compilation. Very good question. I'll give you my thoughts on it, because that's all I can do is give my thoughts on that one. But yeah, the lack of charisma or just getting nervous, I think you'd be surprised how many people can relate to that, particularly when they're starting on YouTube. Particularly, it's the first time. Like it can be daunting having a big camera lens in front of you pointing at you, because it's not the usual scenario. It's not what people are used to. People aren't used to having the lights, camera pointing at you. So you've got to get used to it. It takes practice. It takes time to get comfortable on camera. So these are all things that we all experience, particularly at the start, unless you're like a seasoned entertainer or something coming from a different field like comedy or television or movies or music or something like that, where you have a level of performance or a level of professionalism in regards to standing in front of a camera, standing in front of an audience. So those people, yeah. So for the rest of us, we're learning charisma, and I know Nick Nimmin recommends all the time a channel called Charisma on Command. I haven't gotten into that one myself yet, but it's always at the back of my mind that if I want some help with that, that's probably the place to go. Secondly, nervousness. That comes, I think, let me say, I think it goes to a certain extent with experience. It's like being nervous on your first day of school or being nervous on your first day at a new job. You don't know the people. It's you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to be asked of you. And so there's a level of nerves there for sure. And anything that we do is new for the first time. First time traveling to a different country, that can be a little bit nerve-wracking for people. The first time on a plane for people, that's nerves. So it's a normal feeling. It's a normal place to be, and so how we overcome that in all the other places is like we go to work every day, it becomes normal. We go to school every day, it becomes normal. So in regards to YouTube, if we live stream every day or if we make videos every day, we get less nervous and we get more confident as we go. So that's just prelude into the main chunk of the question. And Adam says, I didn't get my advanced notification Wednesday for my live stream. Yeah, YouTube's been a bit hit and miss. I think Wednesday was the day where they had that. Was Wednesday the day they had the outage? They had an outage for an hour or two? It seems like it was like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm really not sure. But back to the meat of the question. I was trying to do a compilation of video clips that are funny to us. I'll just get my emails about, my notifications going out. I got my emails. I was wondering how you properly do this compilation. Now, when it comes to compilations, there's a couple of things. Is firstly, what is it a compilation of? Is it a compilation of your own work, or are you trying to compile like various videos from different sources? Because to me, the first thing I think of when I'm thinking of, okay, I'm going to be using other people's content is, apart from like the monetization issues with that down the track, because that's a whole another kettle of fish, but just undertaking that so that you're able to successfully publish those videos in whatever format that you happen to put them together, or however you package them. I think the first thing I would consider is, how do I logistically go around sourcing those, because of obviously copyright's an issue, so you want to get some sort of permission, so you've got to figure out an avenue to contact the content owner for permission, and then go through that process. So there's a bit of a process involved in doing this. Now, if you've already got the videos in question and you want to put them together, then that's the sort of into the second part of how do you properly do this compilation. You could do it you remember the old school America's Home Video, where they get a lot of home videos sent in, and then they would package them in a way where they're presented by the host, introduces them maybe with a comedic or funny way. They can that's one way of doing it. I think if you want to provide it so that it's going to be at least using the footage in a manner where you could clearly call it fair use and stuff, you want to be at least commenting or critiquing some or all of that footage as well, in regards to the funniness of it and why you like it, or you're going to be adding additional value on top of the clips themselves. So there's a bunch of ways you could go about that. You'd have to experiment, I think, with how you put that together, and sometimes that can be a bit of an experimentation from the first video you do along the way in putting that together, and how it will actually flow better for you, flow better for the audience as well, where instead of just clipping like clips one after the other. An interesting one I've seen is there's a channel. I don't know the name of the channel, but what they do is they put together aviation clips, and they do it once a week, and they call it the weekly dose of aviation. And they're interesting clips, so it's not just run-of-the-mill stuff. It's like, okay, here's a plane, here's a view from the cockpit of this plane refueling in midair. It's sort of something that you don't see every day, because you can see planes take off and landing from airports. There's heaps of channels doing that sort of thing. There might be special clips from air shows, something interesting, maybe a helicopter not taking off correctly and losing a blade and having to carefully navigate, something unusual. And so they present like probably about half a dozen or so clips every week in this clip format, one after the other. But all he does, he obviously gets permission to use the clips, of course, but then what he does is he introduces each one as it starts. So just a voiceover. So there's one way of just doing like a voiceover at the beginning to introduce a work into the clip, and then show the duration of the clip, and then goes to the next clip and does the same thing. Sort of like a brief introduction. Maybe it could be something funny or witty. If you're doing something with a comedic timing, you could throw in some wordplay or some jokes or something that will help lift the levity of the whole funny or comedic content that you're providing compilation of. But if you get people like submitting compilation, like the old, as we talked about, funniest home videos, where people are sending it in, they're giving you permission to use their content, they're giving you permission to use that section of the clip. That's probably a good way to go. I know there's like dash cam channels that get people to submit things that happen on the road on their dash cam, like an accident or people breaking the road rules or weird things that are happening. And they get them and they put them in a compilation clip, but they have permission from that person to do it. They package it in such a way that it's just like a compilation, a bunch of compilated car crashes or dash cam footage clips that they put together. So there's a bunch of ways you could go about that, and it all comes down to what your imagination will lead you to. And you can get some inspiration from other channels, of course, on YouTube. So how they present it, what their style's like, and then put your own twist on it. So yeah, let's get back to the chat. And I see that Beanie Draws is in the house. It's been a while since I've been away for one of these. Beanie, it's good to have you here. We missed you last week. It's been a little while since I've actually... last week was my first week back after a couple of months of a hiatus, just with busyness and different things going on. And it's good to get back in the saddle. This is the second week. And it's very quiet out there in Chatland today, so we're gonna mosey on and hit the main topic. But don't forget, if you've got a question anytime, make sure to drop it in the chat, which is also a good thing to do. Keep the questions coming because that keeps us rolling. But if you saw today's, not so much the thumbnail, but there was a little bit of adjustment to the thumbnail, but the title of the show today, I'm just reading off my iPad, YouTube channels hacked, the truth. So a bit of a, I won't call it the clickbaity title because we're going to talk about that. But basically, you might have seen or heard over the last few months, particularly since the beginning of the year, I think it has been, people from time to time, maybe in Facebook groups or different places, where they say, hey, my channel's been hacked. How do I get YouTube to get my channel back? Different things like that. And a lot of content creators have been sharing information on how to protect your channel. And I just wanted to sort of cover some of that stuff. I think I might have even talked about it in a live stream earlier this year. But there's been some interesting developments and and I must say sensationalist content put out there on this subject. I think the most recent one was yesterday. I think a channel called The Quarterling, which I don't watch, I don't subscribe to. I'm not a big fan of these sort of... We'll call them. I'll call them, for want of a better word, because this is probably not the best way to describe the Quarterling, but YouTube drama channels or YouTube, they sensationalize stuff that's happening on YouTube, and quite often, in some people's opinion, and I do agree, and to a certain extent, is sensationalism to get views or to scare people into watching, so that obviously they can get the views, whether or not that content is accurate or the information conveyed in that those videos are accurate, that is a different story. Let's see if I can bring this up here. There's the particular channel that he featured in the video that we're talking about, that was the Cordling. He basically introduced it and basically then just rolled another video from this channel in its full, where this guy explains what he thinks is going on. And basically, to distill it down, we're talking about all the bots that we're seeing coming up on channels, like the Tom bot, the Todd bot, the Zimmer, the Traptown, the Lucas, and you name it. There's been channels like it. I think the one he was talking about is it's named after one of the Paul brother, Logan. There's one called Logan, and he says it's named after Logan Paul. But whatever, it's not trying to be Logan Paul. The logo is just some random blue sort of picture on the icon. But as you know, these bots are basically going to people's comments often as soon as videos have been published and saying, "Hey, great video, will you be my YouTube friend?" As soon as you read that, probably a 99% chance that that channel that is commenting on your video is a bot straight away. Because what's a YouTube friend and how do you become one? I've had people ask me that legitimately because they're new to YouTube. And this is the danger, because we're getting so many new people to YouTube because of COVID-19 and things like that. So people are starting to get into YouTube. I'm going to do some YouTube. I've got downtime. I'm locked in. I'm locked out. I'm going to start YouTube. And they don't know what's going on. They say, be a YouTube friend. Oh, I want to be a friend. They click on the name, go to their channel. It seems, okay, this is a bit of a, interesting channel. They might have some what appears to be some content of whatever, whether it's gaming or music or something. Traptown was a lot of music. There was a few others that basically had linked to content from other channels, like legitimate channels, but made it look like their own content. Different things like that. But these are essentially channels that have been set up by probably a group of people, because it's that in that large scale. I don't think it's somebody working solo, and there's so many different channels keeps popping up, and it's definitely a bot. It's definitely a lot of programming involved, and they're taking advantage of YouTube systems to a certain extent. Now, the video that I watched from the Cordling and the guy whose channel who Cordling claims is now, he's lost his channel to these scammers, which I don't know if that's true or not. I'll take that with a grain of salt. But so as soon as he published this video, somehow they've taken over his channel. But this guy believes that somehow they're able to actually hack YouTube's servers. Now, let me say, I don't believe this is the case. I'm skeptical of that claim, because if there was such a large spread breach of YouTube's servers in regards to privacy laws that are out there, they have to legally tell people that their data has been breached. And in this case, there's been no such thing. But what we have seen is a lot of people getting their channels taken over. But what we found is generally they're taken over because of lack of security. And these are the things I was going to talk about today, is what can you do to protect your channel? I did a video a little while ago on one simple thing that you can do to protect your channel. Obviously not the only thing you can do to protect your channel, but that was to do with the tip of, which is real simple. You can do it to your channel right now. Go to your About page. Go down, if you have your business email set up, go and click on that. Is that business email the same email that you use to log into your Google account to get into your channel? If it is, change it straight away. Do not use the same email address that you use to log into your channel to be your business contact email on your channel. To make a totally separate Gmail account for that, or some other email address for that. Do not use the same email. This is the first place they get because your email address is nearly half of your login details. You've got your email address, you've got your password. Now, there's a third thing you can do, which is called two-factor authentication, which Google and YouTube highly recommend people do. So YouTube, two-factor authentication on Google means that not only do you have to put in your username and password, but when you do, they send you a code to your phone by SMS, by text, to verify that that's you. And then you have to type that in to prove that, yes, this is me that's logging in. So it's like an extra layer of protection. And this is a fairly solid protection. It's not foolproof, and that's only because of lax phone companies allowing people to not verify themselves to clone your SIM and things like that. But that's a lot less of that sort of happening these days. Could still happen, but very sophisticated if it does. Before I continue, let's just a shout out to Scaly Model saying hello from the UK. We want to shout people out as they're coming in, and of course, it's D Niman. Morning, gents. D, it is super early for you there in Mexico. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. But okay, getting back, I'm going to pull up my notes because I want to show you. I had an interesting conversation on Facebook today in the Tube Ritual where someone was bringing up this particular video from the Cordling that we were talking about and asking questions, and I was trying to explain to him that I don't think YouTube is being hacked. The servers are not being hacked. That is not what I want to pull up. Here we go. Jumping over. Now I'm going to run down what I've got written here because this is, I basically spelled out how people are hacking your channel. So if you know this process that they're using to hack your channel, then you can take steps to prevent it. So basically I said this, I'm going to sort of read the main points off here. Okay, we're going to start from the level where they're bots and then they're commenting on your channel. What they're doing is they're hoping that you're going to go and click on them, and because they're saying, hey, you want to be my YouTube friend, they're hoping that you're going to go to that channel. That's the first step. They get you on that channel, they present you with some content, and the next step is they're hoping that you subscribe. Now, if you subscribe, once you subscribe to that channel, you are definitely 100% on their radar for a possible hack. Because what that means is when you subscribe, if your subscriptions are public on YouTube, they get an email saying, hey, Doug Hewson YT, subscribe to your channel. They get that email. They go, okay, here's another potential victim for us, Doug Hewson YT. Interesting. So first thing you can do to prevent that is to make your subscriptions private in your settings, which means that if you subscribe to somebody, people don't know who you're subscribed to, basically. It means that people who are like looking at your channel, whatever, are not publicly knowing who you're subscribed to. And that means that YouTube also won't be sharing out that information to the channel that you've just subscribed to. But in the first place, you don't want to subscribe to these bot channels anyway. Okay, so now they know who you are. At some point in the future, they can go to your channel, go to your About page, and go and see if you've got an email address listed under business email so that they can contact you. Now, they are hoping against hope that that is also your Google login. So what they're going to do is they're going to put that in a list, and later on down the road, they're going to send you an email. And this is what's called a phishing email, PH, phishing, where they're basically purporting to be YouTube, and they're going to come at you with some random piece of information to say, hey, you've got a copyright strike, or you've got something else going on your channel, and you need to resolve that by clicking this link and giving us your username and password. Now, if they can convince you to click on that link and give your username and password, or your email address and password, one, it confirms that that email address is your login, B, you give them your password, at that point, they possibly have access to your account and can get into your channel and do whatever they want on it. This is where that two-factor authentication comes in we just talked about. If you've got that on, that's your last layer of defense against this sort of hack. If you've already fallen to the comment, if you've already fallen to the phishing, then your last level of defense is to make sure that you've got that two-factor authentication on your channel, so that if you do make a mistake and click on one of these emails, they at least can't get past that. They can try. So what else can you do to protect your channel? You can change your password on a regular basis. Quite often these days, people are using like password things like LastPass, or using their password system in iCloud or different things like that to remember their passwords anyway. So you can just change your password to a totally random collection of numbers and letters that you're not going to remember. It's not going to be something they can brute force hack, like guessing your birthday or putting in your name backwards, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever simple password you might have. Make sure you've got a good password on your account. So let me get back. Let me make sure I haven't missed any of my points on this really quick. But yeah, protect it. Okay, two-factor. And now that, what if you don't have that two-factor authentication turned on? At that point, they've got access to your account, and that's where you get hacked. Now, there is an off chance that if they're very sophisticated and they can pretend to be you and know who your cell provider is. Now, this makes this is a whole nother level of complexity. So most of them aren't going to go to this level, but it's possible that really crafty hackers might go to this level. They need to figure out who your cell provider is so they can ring up and pretend to be you, get a new SIM issued in your name, and somehow get a hold of that SIM, put it in a phone so they can receive that code, a two-factor authentication code, when they go to log in. But what I found is when people attempt to log into your account from a new machine for the first time, when you hit that two-factor authentication, Google are going to send you an email saying, hey, somebody's just attempted to log into your Google account from this location. And if it's not you, then you need to make sure you change the password or take some action. If it is you, then that's fine. Just continue on. So you will know if somebody is attempting to get into your Google account. You'll know because you'll get that email from Google saying, hey, somebody's just tried to log into your account from Nigeria. I know for a fact that I'm not in Nigeria and I don't have any devices in Nigeria. And it'll even say, hey, are you logging in on a computer? Are you logging in on an iPhone or something like that? So make sure that you got all that, every safety level in place. Don't have your public-facing email be your login email. Make sure you got two-factor authentication on your Google account. Protect yourself in every single way. Be careful where you talk about publicly about your location, about your personal life, where they might be able to glean information to possibly hack you and maybe guess your password. Tell them what your husband or wife's name is. Tell them what your children's name are. Be very careful about your privacy in these things, because sometimes people can use these privacy things to answer questions to actually get access to something that belongs to you. It's much like when people are hacking, getting access to people's accounts or taking out loans on their behalf because they're able to gather up enough information to prove that they are you. Whether that's a bank statement or some sort of photo ID or different things like that. So make sure that you protect yourself in every avenue. And that's my advice for you. Now, what I have done is on my channel, I do have a playlist where I've put together a bunch of videos from some creators like myself, Roberto Blake, Daryl Eves, and I think there's a few others in there as well, talking about how you can keep your channel protected in different parts of this story and different parts of the equation. So even more information can be found in that playlist. You can watch that through. What I might do is, I don't have it handy, but I will get the link for that particular playlist. I will drop it in the chat shortly. But in the meantime, we're going to jump back into the chat, see what's going on. I can see Beanie is commenting, and everyone's saying hello to D. D's here. Beanie says, interesting theory, makes more sense than the rumors. Yeah, to go out and unsubstantiate, I can't even say the word. To basically say, hey, these guys are actually hacking YouTube without any proof, I don't believe it myself. YouTube and Google are not stupid enough to get hacked in that manner and that sort of broadness. People are getting their channels accessed and hacked because of a lack of security on the creator's side. As simple as that. Also, be sure that someone actually did try to log in. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes the phishing emails are the warning that someone tried to log in and you should change your password at this link here. That's right. That's right. They're going to get you with, hey, you got a monetization issue. You got a copyright issue. You need to log in to find out about it. Hey, someone tried to hack your channel. Come to this link and change your password. They're going to get you in all sorts of ways to scaremonger you into divulging your email, your login, your YouTube account, something that is going to be beneficial to them. And Beanie says, if you get an email saying that someone tried to log in, actually check your activity and make sure that that's what really happened, because sometimes those emails are fake. Yeah, and the one way to, there's not only the way to tell that if it's from YouTube, because it has to be from @youtube.com or @google.com. The other way is to go to your YouTube Studio dashboard, and if there is something about your account that needs your attention, it will be listed there. There'll either be a banner at the top of your dashboard, or somewhere in the dashboard there'll be like a card that's talking about like a copyright strike, or hey, you've got an issue with monetization, you need to go look at this video. Sometimes, in most cases, that'll be listed somewhere on your dashboard. So you can verify if it's legit or not by going to your dashboard and looking for that. If there's nothing mentioned, then it's probably a bogus email and should delete it straight away. And what should you do with those bots? The bots that initially started, the bots that are the ones saying, hey, can you be my YouTube friend? The ones that are trying to sucker you in to go to their channel and subscribe. Very simple. As soon as you see it, delete it. If you're really keen, hit the report button, report it as spam, which is probably more beneficial, because the more of those that YouTube get alerted to, the quicker they can take action, even though they still have to do a human check before they terminate an account or give a community guideline strike. They are going to, if they got more of them for the one channel, they're probably going to elevate its priority to be looked at quicker. So report it, get rid of it, get it off your comments. Don't be seen by your subscribers and viewers commenting back or trying to have a conversation with these bots. Okay. I just got a weird alert on my eCam. How's my audio there? It seems to still be coming through as my microphone, but I just got an odd message on my screen saying that my primary audio has become my iPhone, which I'm not sure why that is. So just let me know just say something in chat if it's not my microphone. Where were we? Let's go back to the chat right now. We need to get back to the chat. And remember, if you've got questions on any creative subject at all, make sure you drop them in the chat. It's not just talking about YouTube channels getting hacked, but certainly if you have any questions or comments about that as well, you can drop them in the chat as well. And a good morning to Kate TP Wrestling. How's it going today? Welcome to the stream. Audio's fine? Good. That was just a random message from eCam telling me my primary audio had changed. Okay. Just add friend and friends as a banned word. Will never show up as public anyway. Well, that's true, yeah. Using filters for your comments, for your live stream chats is very beneficial. Myself and Beanie have discussions on this sort of subject all the time about words we've added to our ban list and things like that. The other important thing to do, which I recommend doing, is when you're in that same page where you can put the banned words in, right at the bottom, there's a checkbox. Don't allow links, so people can't drop a link to their channel or drop a link to a video or drop a link to a dodgy website in your comments, because you don't want that happening. If you check the box, any link has to be approved by you before anybody can see it. So I think that's probably a very important. I think all channels should have that on by default, but unfortunately, it's not. I came across a channel. I think it was today or yesterday. I had to say, "Hey, I'd go and check that box." The thing, what do I do? I don't want these links showing up. Go check the box. You'll have to approve them before they show up. All right. KTP Wrestling's now scheduled a video, pumping out those WWE videos there. My filter list is super long. Yeah, Beanie's is way longer than mine. I just add stuff sporadically, but Beanie is a beast when it comes to filtered words. It is easier to approve messages than it is to delete messages. Just manually approve messages rather than have to delete bad messages. Absolutely. And at the same time, there's no when they're held for review, you don't have to rush to check them. You can just check them at your own leisure. Whereas if they're live, and it means you have to sort of go looking for them and removing them as quickly as possible if it's something that you don't want to be seen publicly, which is like people. The most common one I see quite often is people trying to self-promote, dropping a link to their YouTube channel or dropping a link to their just a single video. That's probably the most common one. In the Garden of Blessings is here. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Any thoughts on anything we've discussed so far, or another question totally on a different topic? Let me know right now. I'm just going to change from the scrolly scroll to the little static bug there, just for a few minutes, just to change the scene. And just before I went live, I did check for some YouTube news. It was pretty light on, but there's a couple of things that we could talk about. So I'm just going to pull that up in just a second. And I've got to remember, as I said last week, I'm a little bit rusty. I don't. My sound effects are here, but I've not always remembering to use them. But let's transition to the news. Is this the right one? All right. Where do we get YouTube news from? Sometimes we just go to Tube Filter. And I go to the YouTube tab. Probably the number one story for the last week since the last show, of course, is this one here. YouTube introduces new grey clock monetization icon, so creators see less flip-flopping. And this is talking about monetization. So if you're in the YouTube partner program, this will be applying to you. What they will show you on your video. Let's go into the story. Let's load it up. Load it up. There it is. This picture is perfect. This is what I was looking for. Here we go. So basically, instead of just seeing like the green monetized icon, the red and eligible, or the yellow one that's sort of in between, sort of it's available to some advertisers. What you'll do is you'll get this checking icon here just after you publish it, just in that first maybe hour. You might, probably sooner, depending on how busy YouTube is. You'll get a checking icon saying that they're just reviewing your content to make sure it's appropriate for advertising. And then they say to make it unlisted or private until that checking section is finished, and then you'll get a locked-in yellow, green, or red icon, and then you know what the status of your video is going to be. And once you know the status, you can drop that video. You can make it live. You can schedule it, whatever you want to do. And they say that by and large, that video won't flip-flop. It won't change. It'll be what is set there from that point on. Of course, you might be getting not suitable for all viewers yellow, and you might want to dispute it, which you could do if you wanted to. But yeah, so it's sort of that middle ground after publishing, not sure whether you're going to run into any issues with your video in regards to monetization. So this is pretty good. Looks like we're attracting some spammers in the chat. Hello, spammers. Spammers, you need to meet my moderator. His name is Beanie Drawers. He will take care of you today. Make sure you tip him before you leave. All right. So I'm not going to read the article, but if you want to find out more about it, Matt Caval, who's a YouTube liaison for creators, he did a little "Hey, I'm in the car" video on Twitter, and they also dropped a video from the YouTube creators channel, explaining it, and also Creator Insider have covered it on a recent video as well. So if you want to look at more documentation on that, then certainly hit up Creator Insider or the YouTube creators channels. They've both covered it on recent videos. And make sure you check that out if there's something applicable to you. We're going to come back to me. How are we going there? Now the interesting thing is Ecamm showed me the first. It's still showing me the ones from the first account there. But yeah, nice try, boys. Nice try. Nice try. All right. Let's get back to the comments that I've missed here. Yeah. Well, yeah, scammers have never been in people's good books. I can tell you. They're getting better at tricking people. That's it. We have to stay alert. I think we have to stay alert but not alarmed, as they say. Keep alert. Safe and not trust. Yeah, we also got to approach a lot of things with a grain of salt. So we need to be I understand why people like even say, "Hey, can I trust something like TubeBuddy? Can I trust TubeBuddy?" Because they want to have access to my channel and they're able to delete my videos. And yes, they are, but will they is the question. And the answer is no, of course they're not going to do that. If they did that, they would lose accreditation with YouTube. They would no longer be able to sustain a business, and they would go out of business. It is in their best interest to do exactly what they say they're going to do in regards to being connected to your channel and being able to provide the features that they provide in helping you manage your channel. And the same with vidIQ and Morning Fame and some of the other things. Like even when you live stream through something like Streamlabs, they ask for that same permissions because it's all to do with the YouTube API. YouTube API says, hey, if you want to have direct connection to this channel, you need approval from the channel owner to do these things. So you need to present them with this screen that says, hey, do you give permission to Streamlabs to live stream to this channel and update things on the videos to, like titles and descriptions and the status of the video, and is it going to be public or private, different things like that. Same with if you're using StreamYard to stream with, any of those that are connecting to your channel via the API, you're going to be asked that same series of questions or permissions to do your channel. But we learn to trust these companies because they're reputable. A lot of people are using them, and there's no big outcry. Hey, such and such has ruined my channel. You never hear anybody saying TubeBuddy's ruined my channel, or vidIQ's ruined my channel, or Streamlabs has ruined my channel. You don't hear those things because if they did, they would go out of business. So they're doing the right thing by you, and over time they earn people's trust, and so then other people can then also enter into that same trust. That's a long way of saying it. I got notified that my ratings are highly accurate for the past 12 videos that I reviewed. That's cool. Yeah, I got the similar one, and I've only had a handful. I probably only had 2 videos that I've uploaded since they've added the, or maybe 3, to the upload flow. So I got that same notification as well. I think a lot of people got them in the last few days too. So we must be in the first batch where they're saying, "Hey, we're liking your self accreditation so far. Keep it going. We like your work basically." In regards to being truthful. Gear Vlogs is in the house. Welcome, Gear Vlogs. I got to remember to keep on the time on this stream as well as we do. vidIQ does that? I do not think TubeBuddy did. Yeah, no, because they both have access to your channel to make changes like bulk updating and accessing your analytics to present information in a certain way, different things like that. Really, if you're on the free version, it does too, or if on a paid membership. Yeah, I think the free version, it's linked to your channel as well, because there's certain things that it does for you even in the free version where it's actually doing stuff beyond what somebody can do if they're just like looking at your channel. Like if I'm looking at your channel, I can see like your videos, I can see your homepage, I can see your about page. I can't really see anything in the back end. I can't see any of your analytics, or I can't do much. I can share. I can say, click share and share your video to somebody. I can do that, but I can't do a lot of other stuff. But vidIQ, TubeBuddy, those guys are doing a lot more than that, so they do require access to the back end of your channel. Lemonhead Penny, good to see you here. It's been a while since we've seen you, although it has been a couple. This is only the second stream back after a month or two off streaming on a regular basis. And of course, last year we were rolling hard with the we rolled hard with the trivia up until about early October, late September, and then the rest of the year I was contemplating the new direction for the stream, and then in the new year, Creator Breakfast. We've did a few episodes earlier this year. Another short break with all the COVID madness, and we're back into it. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I don't need to highlight that. Any questions, make sure you drop them. One important thing I need to check on right now. I'm going to do that. As you talk amongst yourselves, I am going to click refresh on this because I need to know what is going on. What? Okay, Beanie, I need a word from you here. Can you go and check the schedule stream for Nick Nemon and tell me what time you see it scheduled at? Because I see a really odd time it is scheduled for me, and I don't think it's correct. I don't think it's correct at all. So let me know. Let me know what you see it. I need to pull it up on a second device just to be sure. Let's see. I'm looking for a response in chat. Actually, you know what? Let's do this live. Let's pull up the iPhone screen. Here we go. We're going to check. I'm going to check what it's scheduled for on my... Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, because you know how when somebody schedules a live stream, it shows up on your device, it'll show it to you in your own time zone. So this is my time zone. And currently for me, it is 10:45 p.m. here where I am in Brisbane. Nick Nemon's live stream says it's scheduled for the 17th of May at 13:42 p.m. Now 13:42 p.m. is 1:42 p.m. my time, and that is an odd time to go live because that would be in the past. It's already the 17th where I am. Is today the 17th? Or is today the... Hang on. No, today's not the 17th. 17th is next week. Yeah, he's made a mistake. Because what day is it? Somebody tell me what day it is. Let me check. Where do you see the date these days? Not even going to show me the date there. Okay. Lock screen. Lock screen will show me the date. Tomorrow's the 17th? Oh, I'm losing track. Oh, it's tomorrow, Sunday. So you're saying that is a... Yeah, 17th. Because today's the 16th. I knew it wasn't the 17th today, but I knew that it wasn't too far away. So I don't know if that's right, because Nick Nemon doesn't typically go live at 1:42 p.m. on my Sunday. That doesn't sound right. It's usually in about 15 minutes from now is when it typically happens. So someone should reach out to Nick Nemon and get clarification. Actually, I should be the one to reach out to Nick Nemon for clarification. Anyway, if you've got any more questions for me, drop them in the chat right now. This stream is going off the rails. We would say it's being derailed, but D had nothing to do with it. All right. Anyone know if hashtags to a podcast will help? That's a good question. I'm still in the early stages of trying to get my podcast off the ground, which I haven't got to yet because I'm trying to nail down the content itself. But I've never heard of people use hashtags, and I don't know how searchable that would become, because people are finding podcasts, either subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify or through Overcast or one of the other podcast aggregators. And I don't know if they all have a universal way of using hashtags. I'm sure people are using hashtags in some of their podcast show notes and descriptions, but I don't know how well it goes in regards to SEO and searchability. So yeah, that's a good question though. I'd like to know the answer to that too. He did Mother's Day right last Sunday. Yeah, he went live for a short time on Sunday last week because his internet was out on Saturday when he normally goes live. Otherwise, he would have gone live in the normal live stream. Daryl's doing a live training. How come I didn't know about Daryl's live training? I'm a moderator on his channel. Didn't know that. 1 a.m. That's in like 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. I will... that's all right. I'm going to find out for sure, because I like to hand off to and finish on time for Niman Live. So if Niman Live is not at the usual time, then I'll work that. I will message you. I just shot him off a message. And good morning, Midnight Madness 4x4. Good to see Charlie in the house. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm not only subscribed to Daryl, I'm one of his moderators on his channel, Beanie. You know that. I did see a video, but I didn't really pay attention to. I don't know. I think I watched it. I remember watching something from Daryl. I probably didn't connect the times and the places and the is that live? Is it going to be on his channel or is it going to be on Facebook? Do you know? I should know, because I'm a moderator on his Facebook group as well. Anyway, get into the course quickly. Oh, you're losing me, Beanie. I am lost. All right, if you've got a question, drop it in the chat right now. We'll probably wrap things up shortly. Oh, yes, I did watch that one. My channel is dying, and he's talking about how he's going to... Yes, it's coming back to me. I didn't know there was something scheduled so soon. I thought he was going to come back to us with more info. It's through email and through Discord and Facebook, but I'm doing it on Discord. Does Dean Nimmin do lives too? Yeah, Dean Nimmin usually does his lives. Lately, he's been going out at about Sunday evening whilst he's been in Mexico. That can differ. In the last few weeks, he's been going out roughly around there, so sort of like a Sunday evening US time. I couldn't nail down the exact time, but look for him sometime over Sunday. I'm not sure how he's tracking this week, of course, but yeah. Make sure you got that bell rung on his channel, notifications turned on, so you can get those alerts when he goes live. Dee's live time isn't very locked in, so that's how I find out when he's live. Is like get a notification, or I happen to stumble across it. That's the other way, because I'm busy. Because usually his Sunday night, when he's streaming on a Sunday night whilst in Mexico, it's my Monday morning and I'm at work already. So sometimes I'm busy working and I don't hear the alert on my phone because I'm working. So, yeah. Did you answer my previous question? That's a good question. I probably did. I'm just trying to remember what it is. Oh. You know what? I missed it before. So it's probably a good thing that your internet went out and missed it, because I missed it. But I found it. Hey, Doug, I have a subscriber who comments good predictions in all my videos on related channels. He doesn't reply to any of my replies. Do you think it is spam? That's possible, very possible. It could be he's like hey, I'm trying to get your attention by The people who comment, "Hey, great video." Nothing real specific, but hey, great video, and it could be legitimate. But then they waffle on about something and they say, "Hey, can you come and check out my channel?" It could be one of those without the "Hey, check out my channel" part. So it's possible that could be someone who's just spamming for attention, maybe hoping you're going to go to their channel and subscribe. You could certainly go check out their channel and see if it looks like they're got something going on. They could be just a wrestling fan. Maybe don't really know how. That when someone comments back that they're going to see it, and then they can reply back again. Because some people just don't really figure out how the YouTube commenting system works. And it is a bit tricky once you get started. As a creator, I find it's tricky sometimes when you reply and somebody replies to a reply. I don't necessarily see it in my comment feed. I have to go see it in my notifications to see their reply, and I can reply to it in the notifications. Otherwise, the way they present comments, you don't know that there's a follow-up question or a follow-up comment to your reply. So that's an interesting one. But yeah, it could be just someone doing like a light spam. Maybe not. Monday tech. No, actually. Well, if I know D's live, I will open my iPad, get out my Bluetooth headphones, I'll put it on and listen while I'm working, and then maybe interact with the chat a little bit if I can. So I do that. Absolutely. Let's see. Maybe a foreign language I get, or just emojis that will copy and paste a reply. Yeah, sometimes you get all sorts in comments. Honestly, I do some channel management stuff, and I see comments all day, every day. So I've seen, if you name it, I've probably seen it. Here's Savage. Welcome. Everyone's saying hello. It's been a month since he posted. He does wrestling content too. I saw it. Maybe he's trying to get what he might be trying to do, because he's also doing the same type of content as you. He's trying to maybe get on people's radar who are also following you, reading your comments. He's just trying to get on their radar possibly. So, but that's not guaranteed. You just have to go with your gut on these things sometimes. Sometimes you'll get it right, sometimes you'll get it wrong. But yeah, you could be just trying to get on people's radars, get attention. Maybe it's like a way of promoting your channel without actually being spammy or self-promotional. It's like it's being regular. It's like being regular on someone's live stream, which is fine. We want regulars on our live stream. We want people to come and comment, but are they doing it to is the way they're commenting and the way that they're interacting with the chat just simply for self-promotion or self-drawing attention to themselves? It happens sometimes. Rafai's in the house. He says he's a big fan. Welcome, Rafai. Welcome. Good to have you here. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I welcome this and just use Google Translate to reply. It's very simple. I go to the channel and see what language they speak and reply to the... Yeah, if it's a foreign language, I tend to use some sort of translation service to have a look. Often it's like, hey, I like your video. It's really good. Things like that. So yeah, you can... I usually just reply in English. If I translate it, reply in English because I don't have time to translate it back. But that happens. And so, yeah, you can read it. And then you can see, okay, they're trying to communicate, but, this is their only language they understand. So hopefully they understand my English reply, or they're watching my English video with my English caption. So hopefully they can understand a little bit. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I was going to go click on all the comments, but it's just everyone saying, sup, what's going on? Everybody's in the chat. All right, make sure you drop your questions. We're nearly hitting the on the hour. It's coming up to 9 a.m. Eastern for you guys over there in the US. I don't have Word on Nimmin Live yet. I don't have Word on Nimmin Live. I'm just going to hang on. He's live now. Nick Nimmin is live now. I just refreshed my page. Nick Nimmin is live now. My notification just came in. So you know what this means, guys? It means you've got to head over to Nick Nimmin's channel right now and join in the conversation, join in the fun. Let me show you how to get there. Do I have that link? Hopefully that is the correct one. I've got a button pre-programmed. I'm dropping it to you. Make sure you head on over and join in the fun and frivolity of Nimmin Live with Nick Nimmin. And who knows what's going to happen this week. Q&A, as always, helping you with your YouTube channel. So get on over there. And this has been Doug from Doug Hewson YouTube talking about YouTube stuff and creator stuff. And I'll catch you later. Where's my end screen?